lecture number 5 of the course Industrial Engineering. Now the topic is production function and production system. So what is production? Production is the process of converting inputs into useful outputs in the desired quantity and quality to satisfy customer needs. That is the definition of production. In this process, many things are happening. First one is, it is a transformation process of converting inputs into outputs. Here some resources are required. Resources are converted into products or services, and during that process value creation is happening. And why it is done? To achieve some organizational objectives. Usually production is done by some kind of organizations. They have some objectives. To achieve these objectives, one of their objectives, usually production is done. So in the production process, we can see inputs are converted into outputs during a transformation process. Usually what are the inputs? People, materials, machines, capital, energy. These are the common inputs. And what are the outputs? Goods and services. Not only goods but services are also an output of a production process. In this picture you can see a typical production process. Here raw materials like metals, wood and other materials are transformed into a finished product, that is car, using a manufacturing process which is happening inside a factory. So it's a typical example of a production process. Here inputs like material, manpower, machines, machinery, money, methods, etc. are there as the inputs. Transformation process happening and outputs are created. Here it is a car. It's a manufacturing industry. So production examples in the manufacturing sector: car manufacturing, mobile phone assembly, furniture manufacturing. Not only in manufacturing, production is happening also in service industries like hospitals, banks, airlines, educational institutions. So production is not limited to manufacturing industries. It is also there in service industries. Factors of production. The 4 factors of production are nature, labor, capital and enterprise. Nature means land and natural resources like water, minerals, air, etc. And labor means human effort used in the production. Physical effort, skills, knowledge, experience, etc. Capital means man-made resources used in the production of goods and services like buildings, machinery, tools, equipment, money, all are capital. Then enterprise means the ability to organize and coordinate all the factors of production. That is the meaning of enterprise. So one organization is there, that is an enterprise. So all these together makes the production process. Okay. The input is converted into output. Then one important term is production function. So what is production function? A production function establishes the relationship between inputs and outputs. It shows how different quantities of inputs produce different quantities of outputs. So there is a general equation for production function that is shown here. y equal to f of c1 comma c2 comma c3 etc. up to cn. Y is a function of c1 c2 c3 up to cn, where y is the quantity of output and c1 c2 c3 etc. are inputs such as labor, material, capital, machinery, energy, etc. So when input changes, inputs are the independent variables. When the input changes, the dependent variable, that is output here, y represents output. Output changes. So that is the meaning of production function. Output is a function of input. So production function can be explained with this picture. Inputs like machines, workers are there. Production function means this production function determines how different combinations and quantities of inputs are transformed into output. Because inputs are there, production function determines how the outputs or how many number of outputs are created. So that is shown in this picture. Okay. And what is the scope of production function? So production function covers activities from plant location, plant layout, material handling, production process, packing, distribution, also production planning, routing, scheduling, dispatching, progress control. That means input is converted into output, but the quantity and quality of output depends on all these factors. So all these factors or some of these factors determines how many number of outputs or how much quantity and quality of output is produced. That is production function. Next is production system. So production system is a part of business organization, a framework of activities through which value is created, a system that converts input into output. So the key point is value is added during production. So a simplified production system is shown here. Inputs are converted into output in this direction, that is from top to bottom. Inputs are raw materials, so raw materials are stored, and raw materials through operation 1 2 3 etc. it is converted into finished goods. Finished goods are inspected, then finished goods are stored, and output is dispatched. So parallel to these processes, here you can see when inputs are coming or raw materials are coming, the company is receiving, shop floor is receiving reports. When the raw materials stored, then inventory reports are the inventory means raw materials. Inventory means raw materials and semi-finished goods. Then during operations are happening, parallel to that, schedules, route sheets, production reports, time and cost records are happening. And during inspection reports are created. Then again inventory reports like finished goods are also a part of inventory. Then outputs are shipped. During that, shipping orders are done. So all these are reported to a production manager. So production manager overlooks all these things. The production manager may be an industrial engineer. Okay. So one end of the production system is input, and the other end is output. In between, many things are happening. So some of the typical production systems we will see now. Here a furniture manufacturing unit is shown. Here inputs are these things. We know that wood, glue, nails, all those things. And production process, during production process what happens? Raw material storage, cutting, shaping, drilling, assembly, then finished good storage. Outputs in a furniture manufacturing unit is usually chairs, tables, cabinets, beds, etc. So this picture clearly shows what is happening in a furniture manufacturing process. So raw materials, these things are the raw materials, wood. Then inputs, not only wood, glue is there, nails are there, paint, varnish, and machines, electricity, all these things are inputs. The raw materials during is going through some activities or some kind of operations like cutting, shaping, assembly, sanding and finishing, painting, polishing, then final inspection is done, then a finished chair is ready for packing. This is packed inside. This is a packed furniture. So outputs can be chair or table in a furniture manufacturing process. During this process, value addition happening in each step. That means the price of the item increases during each step. Then not only a manufacturing production system we have to understand, but also in service industry production system is there. In a hospital, inputs are doctors, nurses, medicines, medical equipment, etc. And what is happening? Transformation process or service process is this: patient registration, medical examination, test, treatment, patient caring, billing. Then what is output? A healthy patient comes out. Unhealthy patient usually goes into a hospital and the output is healthy patient. That means value addition happening. But when the billing is done, the cost of value addition the patient has to pay. Medical services, patient satisfaction, all these are the outputs. So this picture clearly shows what is happening in a hospital. Patient comes, patient examination, diagnosis, treatment, then billing, discharge. So inputs, service process, output. So value creation happens. So this is a production system. So next we have to analyze a production system. Analysis of production system, that is the next topic. So why we should analyze a production system? A production system differ in terms of equipment used, factory layout, material flow, production cost, working process, product variety. So this analysis helps industries to choose the most suitable production system for efficient manufacturing, because there are some different kinds of production system based on the arrangement of machineries. So if we analyze the production system, we can choose which kind of production system is best for this kind of product. So next we are going to see what are the types of production systems. There are mainly four types of production systems. First one is jobbing production, then batch production, mass production, and process production. So these systems differ in equipment, layout, production volume, and flexibility. So first we will see what is jobbing production. Jobbing production means here standard machineries are used. Not always production happening. It is happening during when we get a work order. That means only intermittent production happening. It is suitable for customized products. Examples are shipbuilding, civil engineering works, etc. So we know that ships are not built every day. When we get a particular order for a particular ship, we start to build that ship. That ship will have a lot of criterias like specifications, materials to be used. Everything will be different from a previous ship we have built. So here it is a customized, this kind of product is known as customized product. According to the customer's requirement, we have to build a product. So some kind of standard machineries like lathe, welding machines, etc. are there. So a layout known as functional layout is known. What is functional layout? That we will study in a coming topic. So this is the arrangement of machineries. Layout means arrangement of machineries. So we know that similar kind of product is civil engineering works, because we know that if we make a flat or a building, it will be different from a previous building we have already built. So according to the customer's requirement, we will build a house, and we are building 1 or 2 houses only at a time. So typical example of a jobbing production, that is shipbuilding, is shown here. So shipbuilding is a customized production. So here some of the features are shown here, like a low volume, that means 1 or 2 ships will be built in a shipyard at a time, and high variety, that means compared to the previous ship, this ship will be different, and functional layout will be used. Then general purpose machines, no special machine is used. Skilled workers, ship cannot be built by unskilled workers. High work in process means semi-finished goods, like you can see during the work, lot of semi-finished goods are there. That is, before the final ship is ready for delivery, there are many other items all over the place in a shipyard. Those are known as work in process. So ship is being built like this. Shaping and forming machines are there. Then welding is there. Those are standard machineries. Then each part is produced and assembly is done. Assembling is done usually by welding, then surface treatment, then inspection, then delivery. So it is an example of jobbing production. Then batch production. Here it is similar to jobbing production, but products are manufactured in batches. So typical example is furniture manufacturing. We know that furniture are made in batches, maybe hundreds or 200s or 10. Okay, so similar kind of products are produced here in batches. And clothing industry, we produce similar kind of clothes in batches. So here work in process will be less compared to the previous production type. And here some of the machines may be grouped into families. That means 2 or 3 lathes together, 2 or 3 welding machines together, like that. So here better machine utilization than jobbing. So the typical example is shown here, that is we have already seen furniture manufacturing. So here see, at the end we are getting a batch of furnitures, not 1 or 2. See, during painting you can see some batch of furnitures are coming out. So this is an example of batch production. So here the features are medium volume of production, like 100, 200, etc. Moderate variety, that means furniture changes with the months or years, but only less variety. Then functional layout, like the previous case, job shop production. So general purpose machines, like the previous case, that is job shop production. Here not much specialized or skilled laborers are required, but some kind of skill is required for doing carpentry work, welding work, or gluing, etc. And moderate working process, shorter lead time than jobbing. Lead time means how much time is required from starting to end. So examples are clothing industry, furniture industry, electrical equipment industry, like that. Next, third production system is mass production. Here the characteristic is, as the name shows, high production rate. Then another layout known as product layout is used. That means for a particular product to be finished, machines are arranged. So continuous production happens, low work in process. That means since the continuous production is being done, semi-finished goods are less and specialized machineries are used. Examples are food products, cigarettes, television sets, lamps, etc. In this case, we know that thousands or lakhs of products are produced in numbers. Food products like potato chips, less varieties there, lakhs of packets of uh, potato chips are produced. And cigarettes, like that. Television sets, once a particular television set is designed, they make it in large quantity. And small cars sometimes are produced in large quantities. That is also an example of mass production. Then lamps, bulbs, etc. So typical mass production process of a small car factory is shown here. Here thousands of cars are produced. So you can see the automobile manufacturing production plant. Here inputs are steel, aluminium, paint, glass, etc. Then body shop, paint shop, assembly shop, engine is installed, testing, quality inspection, finishing, packing, and dispatching to the showroom. So here product layout is used. That means that starting to end, usually in a line, machines are arranged. About product layout we will study in detail in another class. So the key benefits of mass production is shown here: high production efficiency, then better utilization of machines, etc. These are the characteristics of mass production. Then the last one is process production. It is usually adopted in chemical plants, petroleum refinery, oil industry. So this is a highly integrated plant. We know that in chemical plants or petroleum refineries, machines are fixed and machines are integrated for a particular product continuously. Sometimes 24 hours work is there. Continuously products are produced. For example, fertilizer factory, this petrochemical refinery, and most of the operations are automatic because hazardous materials are used. It is unhealthy for the human being. So usually automation is the best possible way to do these processes. Then complete material handling integration. We will input the raw materials in a conveyor. Through the conveyor materials will transfer from one machine to the other, and at the end we will get the finished product, maybe fertilizer, maybe petroleum products or chemicals, like that. And the lowest unit production cost, That means for a particular unit, when we consider the cost, it is the lowest compared to other three production processes. So here in this figure you can see one process production, a petroleum refinery. Raw materials are stored in tanks, then pre-treatment, then distillation, then conversion processes, treatments, then storage, then quality control, pumping, distribution, then the finished product is loaded in a truck, then it is delivered to the fuel pumps where we will get the fuels. So this is a process production. Here the machineries are highly integrated. So the comparative table here shows the comparison of 4 types of production systems: jobbing, batch, mass, and process. The features compared here are product variety, production volume, layout, material flow, and work in process. So we have already discussed all these things. Product variety is very high in jobbing, and that decreases to process production. Then production volume is low in jobbing, and that increases to process. Then layout is process for jobbing and batch, but it is product for mass and process. And material flow is intermittent, then batch, then continuous, and continuous, like that. And work in process, that is high for jobbing, moderate for batch, low for mass, very low for process. That means work in process decreases towards jobbing to process. So these are the comparison between different production systems. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe by clicking the logo on top right corner. We will see in the next topic. Thank you.